What's going on, Archivist? Welcome to the return episode of the Archivist Almanac. I'm your boy Varni, and I've got the former Magic the Gathering pro. I don't know why I did air quotes. Sorry. The former Magic the Gathering pro, Panzer. How are you, Panzer?
I'm good. It's cold. Very cold.
Yeah, in the span of 3 weeks, I think it's pretty much been like 3 weeks, or maybe a month since like the last pod was uploaded. It has went from like, cool, it's like I can walk outside in shorts weather to, all right, it's time to break out the jacket weather. Which I guess a month is a decently long time, but that's just Northeast weather in a nutshell.
I have the fun of choosing wear shorts to work so that I don't completely melt, or wear long pants so I don't freeze to death while I'm going to work.
You just gotta warm up the car, you know? You gotta walk out in the morning in the long pants, warm up the car. Then you gotta run to the car after you put your shorts on. That way you'll be warm when you're in the car and you'll only be cold when you exit the car.
Well, this is true. I could just quit buying expensive cardboard and finish connecting the garage to the house, but we're not doing that.
But like that Tony CSR back there says otherwise.
You know, fun fact about this guy, he only cost me $12.99.
How did it only cost you $12.99, Panzer?
Oh, at our good friends over at Omen TCG. With Varney's nice little code he gave me there.
I guess I should probably put that in the description. So when I got into the game, I found this site. It's where I filmed a video that was never released because I hated talking about the game, but looking like a complete idiot. Which, I mean, I look like a complete idiot when I started the channel anyways. But like, I feel like this video really made me look like an idiot. So I'm just sitting there ripping boxes of FTC, Fractured Crown, and I'm like talking. Then I'm like, what am I saying? I don't even know what I'm talking about. So I never released that video. Unfortunately, you guys will probably never see that video. But I bought like a whole bunch of stuff from them. And then Panzer was like, yeah, you know, I like to buy product. I was like, I like to buy product too, just to like open and see it and get my hands on stuff. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Here's this affiliate code that like I got from them. And then he made a purchase and we got a kickback. That was pretty nice. So if you want to support us, it's in the description.
It was a modest size purchase.
It was a very modest sized kickback, which was pretty nice. So yeah, I don't know if they're gonna have no, they have DTR product. I don't know if they're gonna have PTM. I would assume so since they had DTR, but I haven't kept up. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit. I'm gonna have to do something. I haven't been on the site in forever because I've been spending money on 10,000 different things. I bought a RE Cosmic Astroscope CPR. That was a decent chunk of money. I got my Arthurs and my red hairs. That was nice. I got a decent deal on the Arthurs and I got a decent deal on the red hairs. And I supported my LGS while doing so. So support your LGSs. I have this deck brew that I've been messing around with. I've been like teetering. If you guys check out the recent, not recent, but past episodes, I had a whole podcast where I debated if I wanted to play Merlin or Lorraine. And I'm still struggling with that very same question today. So I decided to build Merlin. And because I still have a lot of Lorraine stuff, I decided, all right, if we're not going to play level 3 Lorraine, I'll play level 2 Allies Lorraine, which is equally as fun because I get to do stupid stuff with it, with Arthurs, Red Hairs, Sansas, Lancelots, and Steadfasts. So I'm excited to play this janky brew at some point. I just haven't had the chance to play because our LGS switched our days from Mondays to Sundays in hopes of attracting more people. And also because it'll end up earlier because Mondays leaving at like 9-10 was kind of a drag for some people. So hopefully Sundays pan out better. We'll see. I guess what's happened with you, Panzer, in the last time that you've been on pod outside of pulling your nice Tony CSR there?
Yeah, we got him. We're undefeated with Tony.
Undefeated, okay.
Yep, because we haven't played a game with him yet.
Yeah, that's certainly a term, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little slow go trying to get more people to jump on because like Bandai games are just dropping product on top of their own product, so everyone's money is tied up. My one buddy, I got him a Jin deck. He's gonna be a Jin player, so I might end up having to build Kong Ming just for the flavor of that.
Yo,
I could live with that.
So 2 Kong Ming decks recently tore it up. One at the Banished Zone Regionals. I think it was it Water Kong Ming? I think it was just like water
with the Terra win con.
That's right. Yes, the Terra, and he was preserving and he was drawing map. Bro, I looked at his. I thought he like picked up his deck or something. No, that was just his hand. I was like, oh, what do you do against? I don't think you beat that because they literally can just say no to whatever they want with that much influence. It was crazy. So that got top 16 at the Banished Zone Regionals. And then last weekend at Ascent Auckland, there was not Ascent Auckland. Was it Ascent Niagara? No, it was Ascent Auckland. There was a Razor Ming that made it. I think it might have won the event, if I recall correctly. I actually haven't looked at any of the standings yet because they weren't finalized when I was initially looking at them. I just had an idea of like what was originally in the tops. Here we go. Ascent Auckland. The number 1 or the first place deck after Top Cut, because all Ascents are Top Cut. Yeah, Razor Gale Kong Ming took first place.
We're just in a Razor Gale game now.
You know about Razor Gale. You looked it up, right?
I saw the Rictus Razor Gale shenanigans too. Which I have to call them out. They missed an opportunity to give that deck a hilarious name. They should have just called it Crazy Eights.
You know what? Crazy Eights is a pretty good name.
Yeah. The Bagua package one really piqued my interest. I like those kind of decks too. If I can squeeze Crawl into there though, because I know he's probably bad, but he's just a cool ass dragon,
Hey, listen, we're all a fan of bad cards and bad deck building decisions. I'm editing a video that I did for my post Banished Zone regional run, and I said it in the video. I was like, yes, this is an inoptimal deck list. Some of the things that I run, and I don't run a 60 card deck because I'm a bad card game player. So
if you're trying to win with Bagua, have you read Crawl?
Yeah, Crawl is Crawl. It's Crawl. So there's I think we have 3 keyword monsters in the game that I know of, that I can recall. It's Crawl, Overlord Mark III, and I think Neos Elemental. Is Neos Elemental? Yeah, so Steadfast, Taunt, True Sight, Vigor. Crawl has Intercept, Spell Shroud, True Sight, Vigor. And then Overlord
the only problem is you don't get the class bonus with him. But
who cares about the class bonus?
Maybe
it's a 6/8.
Maybe we can make Sylvie work with him and we just do Bog with Sylvie.
Listen, if Panzer's out here brewing, then what we're gonna do is, we put together a jank ass brewed deck list series, a gameplay, and then
I will throw a cow at you.
I taught him about the what is it, Tony? Not Creation's Will, not Genesis Aegis. Yeah, Tony's Creation's Will, and then you just you make Geldis. And you decompose it. Yep. And you make 8 Great Steel tokens. And you sacrifice all 8 tokens. And you swing.
Yep. Just cue up the scene from Monty Python with the cow.
Listen, it's all a fun time. What are we talking about today? It's been a minute. We had a dev stream. Was it last week? Yeah, it was last week at this point. Dev stream where they got a lot of new stuff. First off, we are doing a spoiler video, which is pretty freaking awesome to be included in spoiler season for Grand Archive. I can say that when I saw the friend request from Sildar come through, I was like, and I hit up Panzer and I was like,
I
What
was
is
dying
this?
when I saw that. I was like, I'm going on hiatus 30 minutes later.
You know, yo, seriously, I was like, I just put out. I'm not leaving. Like, oh my goodness, like, what's happening?
The video wasn't even out yet for the hiatus. I was like, are we putting this on pause?
Yeah, I was like, do I have to not go on hiatus? But yeah, that was fantastic. So my spoiler video is coming out on the 9th, which I believe is this coming Sunday. So be on the lookout for that. You guys will definitely see this episode of Pod before that. So make sure you are subscribed so that you know when that spoiler video comes out. I've been trying to keep up with the spoilers on Reddit because I use Reddit for all of my discussions. I pop around everybody's Discord. I'm a big Discord lurker, but it is hard to communicate in multiple Discord servers. But with this dev stream, there's so much that we've got, and I don't even know where to start. So I think I'm just going to share my screen, and we're just going to go from there. So what do you want to talk about first, Panzer? You want to talk about Merlin, or do you want to talk about some of the other things that changed? Because I mean, we pretty much got like almost all the Merlin spoilers.
I have to catch up on the Merlins. Some of it would be new. But what I did see looked really good. And there is one elephant in the room from all the new stuff, and that'd be the rule change.
All right, so we'll start off here. Merlin Recollection Brilliant Vestige. This is the Recollection deck, and yeah, we got basically all of her. We know what her level does. She focuses on this shimmer and sheen. No, sorry, not shimmer. I don't know why I'm thinking shimmer. Shimmer is a thing. I feel like I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, it's Gouchin.
Oh, that's why. No,
that's Glimmer.
It's sheen. So it's another counter mechanic. Basically, I've heard it referred to as like a bounty. So you kill units and then you gain their sheen counters. So Merlin 1 is going to give you your new mastery, Fractured Memories. Awesome part is that you then may pay 2, and if you do, you summon a Memorite Blade token, which is a base 0/2 sword, but whenever you activate a spell card, you will give Memorite Blade +1 power, but you'll only get that ability once. So effectively, it'll become a 1/2 sword. Any sword is better than no sword, however. It also combos really nicely with the champion ability because I believe the level 3, one of these deals 3 damage for doing something. Oh, it's the mastery that does it. Your champion has on champion hit, you move all sheen counters from the hit champion to your fractured memories, and then when you move 3 or more counters that way, you deal 3 damage. So technically you'd be doing 4. The mastery also has on ally kill, you put X sheen counters on your fractured memories, where X is the amount of sheen counters that were on the killed ally. Now I know that sounds like a lot, and it is kind of a lot to read, but it's really not that much when you're like doing it, right? So basically all that's going to happen is you have spells and stuff where you put sheen counters on things. And then when you kill an ally, you move those sheen counters to your fractured memory. Or when you hit the champion, you move sheen counters again. So basically it's sheen counters are living on the thing, you hit the thing, and then you move the sheen counters, and you get abilities for the amount of sheen counters you control. So one of the biggest things, go ahead, Panzer?
There's a lot of moving parts when you're reading them individually, but once you hit all of them, you're like, oh, I see where you're going with this. So I think the big payoff is you go from their thing to your thing to their face, if I remember the order of operations.
That's pretty much how it works. You work to clear the board, and then when you start battering your opponent's head in, you're trying to do 3 damage every turn as you do it. So one cool thing I like about how they designed the mechanic is the Merlin inherited effect, that when an opponent recollects 3 or more cards, for every 3 cards recollected, they put a sheen counter on a unit they control. So it forces your opponent doesn't have a way of playing around it, so to say. Like, they're going to play into it. Unless they're playing 2 cost and below things, which you're going to be doing more than that in a turn. So you're typically going to get a sheen counter every time your opponent recollects. If not, let's say 2. It's typically going to be 1 to 2, in addition to the stuff that you use in the deck to generate Sheen counters. So moving on to the level 2, it basically puts more, and then she has an ability that's kind of like a backup charger on, or sorry, it's not a backup charger. Let me rephrase that. It's like a backup charger for a prep counter. It's both. It costs 9. You can only activate the ability once. You draw a card, you put a preparation counter on Merlin, but it costs X less to activate, where X is the amount of Sheen counters on your fractured memories. So it plays like the Leporine Mask from the CL starter deck, where it costs 6, but then it reduces for each omen you have, which is a really cool ability to have on a champion. I think that's a really good way to make this more playable, because Merlin, the existing Merlin 2 and 3 we have, which is Memory Thief and Kingslayer, are really good. And I can already see people, like, I lurk in the Merlin Discord, the Merlin chat and the main GA Discord, and I see people talking about this, and they're not like, they're kind of like up in the air on it, which is fair. You know, we don't have it, we're not playing with it, but they're already like, all right, well, I can use Merlin 1, and here's everything I can do with Merlin 2 and 3. I like this because this definitely gives you a reason to play Merlin 2, because being able to get that draw on your champion ability, it does mean you're gonna have to spend like maybe a turn or 2 longer on your champion if you're only having, let's say, like 3 or 4 Sheen counters on your mastery. But I don't know, I like the idea of it. I'm not necessarily saying it's like busted or is like really good and you should play it, but I like the idea that it kind of gives a reason to play, you know what I mean?
I think the level 2 is pretty good, just because you could just wreck it.
Yeah, exactly. I like it for that a lot. It's just a matter of getting there. So we also have 2 new Regalia in the starter deck, or the Recollection deck. The Spectre, we'll go Spectre. We'll get there. The Scepter is basically a backup charger on the Scepter. As a spell, you put 2 Sheen counters on champion you don't control, and then you pay 3, banish it, draw a card in the memory. So it's really good because it accelerates you, and then it gets you a card draw. It's basically Portentous Tengu, but for Merlin. And then you also have a Shard Forged Blade. So when you're paying for its cost, you can sacrifice a Memorite object while paying for that cost. The blade that you summon off of Merlin 1 isn't the only thing you can sacrifice. We'll get there. Now it's a base 1/3 sword, which is really nice. And then it gets +2 power as long as the attacker is attacking an ally with 1 or more Sheen counters on it. So Merlin notoriously has had issues with dealing with aggro allies and bodies. Well, here's this sword that you can basically materialize for free as long as you have that Memorite object. And it's going to be a 3/3 sword as long as something has Sheen counters on it, which is cracked for being able to take down a lot of things. It's the reason that Merlin decks play Cheshire Cat with the inert sword, because it's a 3/3 swinging into things. And it has the, you know, Spell Shroud and what is it? Spell Shroud and Stealth. There we go. So it's hard to deal with, but now you have that on your champion, so to say. The power, at least, which is really nice. Getting to our level 3, we have Merlin Brilliant Vestige. Now, this is where everybody's like, I don't know if I'm like with this, right? The big thing here is you have 2 different abilities, one at Sheen 8 and one at Sheen 24. That means that once you have 8 Sheen counters on your mastery, you get the 1 ability, and you have 24 Sheen counters on your mastery, you get the other ability. On enter, you may banish a Regalia card from your material deck. If you do, draw a card and put a preparation counter on your champion. Insane, because even though so the one big problem, and let me rephrase that, not big problem, but the one big thing is that they purposely locked this Merlin out of easy access to Incarnate Majesty and the Majestic Spirit. If you are able to play that in this deck, that would have been like cracked, because you get to banish the spirit, which you were already going to do anyways. You're never playing it from your material deck. You get a free draw and a free prep counter. But there are certainly other things that you can use, like Prismatic Edge, because you can still play Spirit Blade Ascension in this. I don't think any of Spirit Blade's stuff is locked behind a class bonus. So yeah, you can still play Spirit Blade Ascension in this, banish your Prismatic Edge, get a free card draw, and your prep counter, which is really nice for heading into a level 3. And then the Sheen 24 bonus, basically, it's a fair bit of text. All it's doing is ripping a card out of your opponent's hand. However, or their memory, I should say. However, the card that they rip is able to be activated for a turn. After that, the card is gone forever. Your opponent doesn't get it. So it forces them to have to use the card, because otherwise they're not going to use it. I don't believe that it bypasses like speed or anything, because it just says they may activate that card. But I feel like you still have to abide by, if it's slow speed or if it's an ally, you can only play it on your turn and those same restrictions. So depending on what you do, or depending on how you do things, it can be worthwhile. But, the big thing about it is your opponent still has the ability to activate the card. I feel like for 24 counters, I could have just ripped the card out of their hand.
You just need to hit Sheen 12 and you just kill your opponent on the turn you go level 3 though.
Ideally, yeah, you're ideally that's the goal. Is like, I feel like that's like all right, cool, I've gotten here, now what thing? Rather, like, I would just rather like kill.
Yeah, it's weird. You're an assassin who gets a prep counter, and then you have a really big damaging sword that then doubles the damage of all the Sheen counters you moved that did +3 damage. What other assassin card could we possibly play with that prep counter?
I have no clue. What card, Panzer?
I don't know. Slice and Dice comes to mind.
Slice and Dice goes crazy. It is,
yeah,
honestly really nutty.
Like, literally, you just have to worry about at any point just a dungeon guy dropping and they go to Merlin 3 and you die. Like,
that would be the ideal goal, and in the ideal world, you stack up enough Sheen counters that when you go to Merlin 3, you're ending the game within like 1 to 2 turns. Because current Merlin decks are like, all right, cool, I've gotten to level 3, now I can stabilize and play a little bit of a longer game. I don't think you necessarily want to play a longer game with this Merlin deck, but it does have a lot of stuff to really just like punch you in the face really quickly. Like this Materialize the Soul. Now, it costs 6. It can cost 3 if you have Sheen 15. This card is so stupid. Your champion becomes all class types of target opponent's champion in addition to their other types. Then, look at your opponent's material deck. You may materialize a Regalia card from among them, ignoring its elemental requirements. What in the... I'm about to drop a bomb, so hold on. What in the actual ever-living fuck is that? That is nuts.
our GCR.
RGC. Oh, you didn't materialize your GCR yet? Thanks, but I really could have used that card draw.
This thing's even more busted once you get into like open deck lists or it's that they have Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Like, let me hold that Quicksilver so I can have my card.
Right. I'll take your Quicksilver and then whatever I had in my deck, I was gonna wait till next turn, but thanks, you helped me get it out a turn faster. Or you were gonna bring out something in the mirror, you like bounce back a looking glass with your ghost, and then it's like, geez. Oh cool, thanks for the looking glass, bud.
This is where the level 3 just OTK gets scarier, because now if you have Quicksilver, they just go level 3, steal your Quicksilver, play out Luminous Quartz.
Luminous Quartz, we didn't even talk about that yet. 1 cost Crux Sword, more Crux Swords, baby. As long as it's rested, it can't be used for an attack, but that's okay. That's okay. Because at Sheen 12, you rest it, remove a prep counter. As a spell, that is important to note, you deal 1 plus X damage, where X is the amount of Sheen counters, only activating that at slow speed. But, you just so happen to have like 4 counters chilling on your opponent's champion. How cool. Take 5 damage. It's like a free fireball. And it's a 2/3 sword. So you can still just slice your opponent for 2 and then use the mastery and deal another 3 if they have the 3 Sheen counters. Like, that's really good stuff. But wait, there's more.
There's more.
This deck is kind of crazy. Like, I know not a lot of people are like super high on it, but I feel like it's the type of deck that needs to be in players' hands so that they can really play test and explore. Because This is I think it's got some insane potential. We've got 2 new cards and a token. Here's what this is. Seep into the Mind isn't much of anything. Target opponent puts 3 Sheen counters. It's accelerating Sheen. The big thing is that you look at your opponent's memory and discard a card from it with your Merlin bonus when you're at Sheen 6+. Card is only activated at slow speed, so it's basically an extricating touch without giving your opponent the card back. So that's nice. Obelisk Escort, however, you prepare to summon a Memorite Obelisk token, which is a Memorite in the typing, with a Sheen counter on it. If it was prepared, you summon an additional one with a Sheen counter on it. Now, the Obelisk is a 0/1, but it gets +1/1, basically a buff counter, for each of up to 5 Sheen counters on it. So at max, it can come in as a 5/6, but with Obelisk Escort, this is basically coming in as a 1/2, and it's coming in as 2 1/2s for that. And then on leave, you put X Sheen counters onto your faction memories, where X is the amount of Sheen counters that were on the Obelisk, so it accelerates your Sheens as well, which is really nice for the strategy. I'm gonna skip through some of these cards because there's one card in particular I want to talk about. This one right here, Protect Her at all costs. Cost 2 less to activate for Merlin bonus, or cost 3, you summon an Obelisk with 2 Sheen counters, and then you may change the target of an attack to that token. Activate this at fast speed is really nice because that means you have an Obelisk coming in as a 2/3 that is a redirect, which means it gets around things that are unblockable, because redirect does not fall under the realm of changing the target of an attack. So it gets around that. It's something that's not on the board for your opponent to interact with before you put this out. And it just costs 3 if you're Merlin. So like, it's just like really good. Because then it dies. Let's say it dies, then you can just throw those Sheen counters onto your mastery. And keep in mind, we are playing an Assassin Merlin deck. So we have access to 2 cost incapacitates, which is cracked. This deck is nuts. I don't I don't really have words for how crazy I personally think this deck is. I know it needs some exploration, but it's got a lot going for it off the rip. And we still are missing, I think, like 3-ish cards. We don't know what 3 cards are yet. They could be new cards, they could be reprints, coping for Fracture Eyes, but there's definitely a lot there.
I think the Seep into Mind card that we skipped over is kind of low-key underrated. Just because if your opponent's not an ally deck, you lose out on so many ways to interact with them. And now you're just like, I'm just going to stack the Sheen directly on your face because you're the only unit you can target.
Oh, yeah, that is fair. You just decide to not deal with it until you just gain 9 Sheen counters.
Yeah. And if you get the first one, the second one immediately hits Sheen 6, so your bonus is on the second one.
Ah, that's a good point. Well, yeah. You'd have to kill them first, because you need to, the Sheen matters, it has to be on your mastery.
Oh, sure. For Sheen 6?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what that means.
Oh yeah, on your faction memories. Never mind.
Oh yeah, it says it right there.
Yeah. Reading's hard.
Reading is hard for card game players. Now, in addition to all these new cards that we got, I mean, we got even more new cards, but this is Merlin's story. This is how the antagonist of this is basic. Like, if you think about like what Thanos did in the Avengers, she kind of went on like a Thanos-esque rant, like not in the same vein. Like, Thanos had a purpose. Like, Thanos was a man with a plan. He knew what was up. He knew how to save the world. Merlin was just like, nah, I ain't about all that. My sister, though. So,
Merlin was a syscon all along.
I guess for Panzer's sake, because Panzer he knows the older part of Merlin's backstory, but he doesn't know anything from this outside of like the general like overview of Merlin and her sister. For you, the audience, and for Panzer, we'll just walk through this and then we'll come back and we'll take a look at the cards. So basically, they said the goal with this recollection deck was to tell a story through the cards. If you look at the bottom, right next to the illustrator, there is a story 1 out of 23. And so if you line up all the cards through the picture and the flavor text, and the picture, the effect, and or the flavor text, you will see the story. So basically, Merlin starts out with her sister who looks dead. I don't know how she died. I don't know that much lore, but she's dead or in coma or something. She is not in a good state, effectively. It says, you always said we'd go on an adventure together. We're finally doing it. Right, Ganiera? So Merlin then goes on to find the Proto Key Crest, a silent sigil of allegiance to a forbidden cause. Using that, she basically, it's not pictured here. You have to infer from it. But this was a reference to the Proto Archive, which is a pretty big thing because as far as we know, there's only, I mean, there's obviously more, but like the game is called Grand Archive, and the Grand Archive is this big mystical structure that is like the center point of like all worlds. It's what brings Rye and Merlin and Sylvie and them to Camelot? No, it's some, I can't remember the name of the original world. It's what brings the champions to different worlds, essentially, to try to save those worlds. This is some sort of backdoor or different being to the archive. We don't know. We're gonna find that out at some point throughout the game's lore. So this is how she ends up in Lorraine, in the world that Lorraine is in. So you see seep into the mind, basically what she's doing here. If you look at the effect, look at opponent's memory and discard a card from it. So going in Lorraine's mind, removing memories, basically like taking control, taking her to do her bidding, goes over to Possessed Reaping. I know what you are, Merlin Veritor. You are not worthy of Excalibur, not even in your guise. Because obviously Merlin is possessing Lorraine. Now, I believe, so this is Nimue, and I believe Lorraine basically ends up killing Nimue here. And that's how Merlin gains control of Excalibur, because we have Excalibur Reflected Edge. Going over to materialize the soul, we see that Merlin is extracting Excalibur from Nimue, essentially. And this is how Merlin becomes all class types and blah, 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 and materialize, blah, blah, blah. Merlin just, I don't know, doing Merlin things, I guess, because why not? Now, return to the archive. So Merlin comes back with, that's what the world is called, Cambria. With her duty fulfilled in Cambria, she made her return to the Proto Archive. So she has now killed Nimue, taken Excalibur. Don't know what's happened with Lorraine. And she is now back in her world. Because, I mean, obviously, like, she returns to the Proto Archive, but, like, Proto Archive is going to return her to her world. So where is she returning to? Whatever her original world is from. Protect her at all cost. Underland was the perfect testing ground. She just needed to make sure they both survived. Duality's convergence. Can even a world have a soul? So this is where, if you look, you see the looking glass, basically, or the gate to Underland. So this is where that art comes from, through the looking glass. She enters, and she sends out a Memorite Shardwing. So in Shardwing Searchlight, basically it's a little bird, and she's exploring the world, blah, blah, blah. It has stealth and true sight. A Dormouse Informant. The Miraloon Inn is hosting a girl who looks awfully similar to you. No one seems to know where she came, which is kind of a big thing. I feel like this kind of went like under a lot of people's, I guess, like eyes or noses from the from the dev stream, because I initially thought under mine too. I initially thought like, oh yeah, that's like Merlin, right? But then when she walked in here in Crystalline Reality, I thought, oh, maybe she's like, maybe this is the Alice that she's looking for, because obviously what ended up happening was she took good out. We'll get there. Let me stop getting ahead of myself. She goes apparently to maybe kill, but then Shattered Hope. Would an unconscious reflection be enough? I feel like this, between Dormouse Informant and these two cards, the story here leaves a lot to be inferred. basically what she ends up doing is converge reflections. She's going to merge, and you see it in overlapping visages. She takes good Alice, she takes dark Alice, she merges them. And in that, having done that, a soulless body fused with its conscious reflection. This was her only chance to prove her theory. In other words, Merlin on some real demon time shit, because she just said, I don't care. I don't care that you're like a living human being. I don't care what you're about. And that you're a queen. Stand before the queen. I'm trying to do my human experimentations. So come on, let's get it done.
I think I figured out what the experiment was here for her sister.
Yes. Yep. You're seeing it.
Yeah.
Yep. So
the text on it. Stand
before the queen. This one also leaves a lot to like know, because technically like this is a third Alice, right? I think that was what Belle said on the stream. Belle is the lore, like the head of lore for GA. I think it was her who said that this is a third Alice. So
this is the yin yang Alice.
Right. So basically stand before the queen. She's created this like almighty being. Hold on. I got to move to the next message right here. So this card is here because the next slide has the wrong image, but quiet refraction. So forget that one. Naive of me to think the solution would be so simple. So as you can see, this failed, obviously. She succeeded, but she created this queen, this omnipotent, maybe not omnipotent, that's not the right word, but this bigger being than she could control, that she could have, to do whatever her bidding was. So don't look at Shattered Hope. Gentle Respite. Yes, it's a reprint. Gentle Respite. You are me and I you. Together we can save her. Together we can save you. And if you take a look closely, let's zoom in here. That is Assassin Merlin and another Merlin. Don't know if that's necessarily like Memory Thief Merlin, but it is definitely two different Merlins. So Merlin and Merlin team up to try to save Merlin's sister. So overlapping visages, boom, boom, boom. This is art 2 for overlapping visages. Merlin and Merlin, they put together Ganietta and what I would presume to be the mirror reflection of Ganietta, or Underland version, whatever. None of the results were satisfactory, but the reflection was right. There was no room for doubt. Now, unfortunately, I guess she kind of succeeded, right? But Obelith Escort, whatever she created, went berserk. So the Merlin who was trying to save Ganietta, let's call her Thanos Merlin, or the Merlin, Thurlin. We'll call her Thurlin. Thurlin is trying to protect herself from Ganietta, but also trying not to kill her. But it doesn't really work out because other Merlin comes in and says, yo, we fucked up. We gotta kill her. So, favorite text, in an instant, everything came crashing down. How could someone understand her so deeply, yet elude her understanding entirely? Look at Thurlin with all the despair on her face. And so we come across the Spirit Blade Terminus. We see Thurlin was not happy that Merlin killed Ganietta, fused. Dragon Ball terms, I guess. So, Thurlin said, you're done, Merlin. I am the one true Merlin.
I think Ponytail Merlin is the main continuity one. And then long hair is
Underland
reflection.
Merlin?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that would make, yes, because this is Assassin Merlin. So, undeniable truth, as Thurlin holds Merlin, or main continuity Merlin holds Underland Merlin. I hope you can finally find peace. After all, we both know, or knew, there was no other way. And another beginning, she returned to the homeworld with nothing left to fight for. Her sister was gone. And though the guilt lingered, her shoulders felt just a little lighter. Now, I know a lot of people were upset. A lot of people were upset with that. They were like, she can't keep getting away with this. We which for what it's worth is so true. Let me stop sharing my screen real quick.
She just goes home. She's like, all right.
No, seriously, that's how I felt, right? Like when I read, like everything else was fine, and then I read her shoulders felt just a little lighter. Huh?
I can understand that sentiment, I guess. Like,
I understand the sentiment.
Yeah.
But you're telling me that she just she was a massive demon time. She controlled Lorraine, killed. This didn't even go over how like she killed Uther and everything that happened in Cambria.
And then with the actual Excalibur and Dawn of Ashes, she blew up the whole planet.
Right, exactly. Went into I know Tristan lost her arm somehow because of Merlin, or maybe that was pre-Merlin. I don't remember. Now she comes across here to Underland, finds her mirror self as well as the Miraganietta, merges the Alices. What the hell? There's a merged Alice now walking around.
With a Jabberwocky.
With a Jabberwocky. She then kills her mirror self because surely that won't have any repercussions.
All right. I don't know if they'll go this way with it, but she just got done doing 2 experiments about putting together a unconscious you and a conscious you. Now she just has a free little extra her just laying there. I have a feeling we're going to see a card in the future where she's got like other Merlin just, chilling inside one of those pink crystals. She like pre-animated
other Merlin?
She's just inside a pink crystal.
Yep. So like, after all of that, all this havoc, all this chaos, her shoulders felt just a little lighter. Sorry, let me rephrase. Her sister was gone, and though the guilt lingered, I feel a little bit better. I got some closure. Like, what? No, you guys are right. She can't keep getting away with this.
Like, she's just gonna go home crying to a lean cuisine and then go ruin another world. I don't know.
Bro, serious demon time. Like, this crazy. Now, I know Belle took to Twitter or X, whatever. And she talked about some of the things that, like, she felt weren't either, like, went over people's heads or weren't, like, captured from the dev stream with this story that was told. And that was one of the things that she talked about. So, like, I understand the sentiment of, like, what you were going for. But she definitely got away with it. for all intents and purposes right here. She chilling. She went home, like Panzer said, she popped the lean cuisine in the microwave. She got the pint of Ben and Jerry's and she kicked it up on the couch and said, damn, that was a trip.
Yeah, she's just sitting there. She's like, oh, Gary, and it's like, oh, Grey's Anatomy's on.
For real.
I think I remember seeing the author post that she understood why Kingdom Hearts was as confusing as it was, because there is also a time travel plot we haven't gotten into with Diana yet, so maybe all of this didn't actually happen.
Oh no, it did, but then I mean, power to rewind time because Diana has chrono warp. Like, there's so much interlinking lore. I would kill for like a solid lore book, like even if it's like I know I think there was plans for the Kickstarter at one point to have a lore book. I don't think it reached a stretch goal though. I would totally support a product where the proceeds went to creating a lore book because I would love to read that. I think that would be a fantastic piece of media, especially because like this is a card game first and they're building the lore as they make the card game. There's a lot to be explored, and we're 8 sets in? We're about to be 8 sets in because we're getting PTM in December. There's so much that it's like, oh man, I would love to know everything because we still have, I don't even know what the number on champions is, but there's over 20 champions and every champion has a story. Like no champion is like insignificant. Like sure, like someone like Polcock or I don't know. Give me another obscure champion.
Nico. What is she doing? She's splashing around in a fountain right now.
Nico, Polcock, and Vanitas. Like we know Vanitas is like the villain, air quote, but we don't know enough, and especially about Polcock and Nico. And just imagine how much more there is out there. I would love for even like a monthly like web comic. That would be awesome. I mean, it's for those of you who watch this and you're either refugees or you play Digimon, Panzer plays Digimon. That's why I love Liberator, because I love lore, and I also love when the card game connects the lore to the media. And so one of the big things that Belle said when she did these cards is her and Sildar basically worked like hand in hand on it, because the effects represent the lore and the lore represents the effects, which is really cool. I like that aspect of it a lot.
For all of Digimon's faults right now, they still do a really good job of this card's effect makes sense for who was on it.
Exactly. So getting back to the cards, now we can talk about card effects. So will to save, you may rest your champion. If you do, you put a prep counter and it has floating memory. I think that's kind of perfect for what this is, right? It does exactly what it says, what the intention is. Proto Key Crest is a regalia on charge 3. Charge means that when you put it into play, I believe at every recollection phase, it gains a charge counter. And then once it reaches that 3rd charge counter, you activate its effect, which is return it to its owner's material deck and recover 3. I think this card has a lot of potential if we ever get a card that would accelerate charge counters. Because as of right now, like 3 turns to recover 3, 1 per turn. It's not insignificant, but it's also kind of not fast enough, in my opinion, especially to waste, air quote, a materialization on it. If there was ever a card that was like, put a charge counter on a thing, or activate the ability, activate the on-charge ability of, this, like, I think that would be like fantastic. So we'll see what comes from that. Seep into the Mind, we talked about Possessed Reaping. So it's an attack base 4, it's a Crux element card on ally kill. 3 cost, 4 attack on ally kill. Return the killed ally from its owner's graveyard to the field under your control rested. It becomes a spirit in addition to its other types.
This card's not okay with fire. Like Fire Merlin or Fire Lorraine. Just because I'm pretty sure this interaction will work how I think it is. You just, I don't know, cleave every ally they have.
Well, so you can't combine attack cards. You can only use 1 attack card to declare.
Oh, yeah, that is an attack. Yeah.
But it is a 4 base attack with whatever sword that you might combine it with. You can kill almost anything, especially if you have the Merlin deal 3. Well, I think that's only to hit champion, so that one doesn't matter. But with fire, because there's a card we'll talk about later, with fire, you can deal direct damage to things. So being able to deal direct damage, use this to go in and finish off the ally and then return it under your control. If it is that big, something like a Geldis, or, I mean, not that you'd be able to control the Geldis, but it would gain taunt. Not that that matters, it comes in rested. I don't know. But Frostborn Paladin, you get a 3/4. It's a 2/3, and then you can banish your float and make it a 3/4. It do be good for that. Materialize the Soul, we talked about how stupid and cracked that card is. What do we got next here?
Oh, Cleave is busted with this if you can activate Cleave somehow with it.
I don't know if we have a weapon with Cleave. I don't think we do. I think Cleave is only on units and attack cards.
Yeah. So don't ever let this thing cleave.
Yeah.
Depending on how it would resolve, you cleave everything that has sheen counters, rip all the sheen counters off everything you killed. Then you get to transfer all of those to the enemy champion because you hit them. And now you activate your other sword and you just kill them. Yep. Yeah, don't let that happen.
Now, return to the archive. It's a mage spell. You may sacrifice a regalia. If you do, recover 2 and draw a card and its floating memory. It's whatever.
You just eat that thing with 2 charge counters on it.
Yeah, there's never really a world where you want to sacrifice one of your regalia unless you have something like when this regalia leaves or something like that. So as of right now, we talked about,
or if you steal their regalia.
If you steal their, no, I still, no, I got it, Panzer, I got it. I gotta go pull it up now. It's Excalibur. So Excalibur,
the original
Reflected Edge. No, Excalibur Reflected Edge. Summon a token copy of a non-distortion regalia you control with a memory cost of 0. Okay, so
there you go.
that can be worth it if it matters to you. You'd be able to destroy the Excalibur, copy something, and then use return to archive to sacrifice it, recover to draw a card. I guess technically you could do it on the scepter, because that's not bad. Because the scepter on enter gives you the shimmer, and then you would pay 3 and banish it to draw a card in memory. But you can just activate this to sacrifice the scepter and recover 2 and draw a card, and this has floating memory. There we go. We found out the combo.
You could eat your looking glass in a pinch too if you don't need it anymore.
I guess you could. Yeah. I guess you could, because it can't be targeted by activations. But this doesn't target. You may sacrifice a regalia. Magic terms. Let's go. Yeah, you could sacrifice your looking glass. Duality's Convergence is stupid too. 3 cost because of the Merlin bonus. Each player summons a token copy of each non-distortion regalia they control. Those copies each become a distortion in addition to its other types. It's cracked. If you just so happen to, like, I don't know, be accumulating regalia for whatever reason, like I typically can find with like Lorraine, for example, I'll have like an inert sword and another sword. Like, all right, so an inert sword, well, that one wouldn't matter because that's a distortion. But let's just say I have a regular Sword of Seeking and my Clarence. 3 cost and duplicate my Clarence? That's all I have to say about that. It's slow speed though, but I don't care. I get to duplicate my Clarence. It's unfortunate that it cost 5 in my Lorraine deck, but
I got down the rabbit hole. I was finding things for more Return of the Archive. It gets kind of dumb. Backup charger.
Yeah, you are.
Eat
yeah.
That. Eat that.
Anything that like draws a card, it could just substitute because it gives you the card draw and the memory. So yeah, you're not wrong.
There was another one I was thinking. I'll get back to you.
So Shardwing Searchlight. This summons the Memorite Shardwing, which is a Stealth True Sight 1/2 bird. At Sheen 4+, you get 2 of those, which is kind of disgusting, honestly, because then you have 2 stealth units that both have True Sight. And then until end of turn, Memorite objects you control gain on hit, put a Sheen counter on the hit object. So you can essentially do an Uzumaki Barrage where you go Shardwing, Shardwing, and then finish it off with Merlin and gain the 2 Shard counters, or Sheen counters. That's nice. The Dormouse Informant, on enter, if your champion has no preparation counters, you put a preparation counter. Mid, honestly, all things considered. Like, it doesn't stack. It has to have none for you to gain 1. There's really no purpose to play this, in my personal opinion. Crystalline Reality, Merlin bonus to prepare 1. Choose 1, but if it was prepared, you choose 2. You either get to summon a Memorite Blade token, your champion gains True Sight until the end of turn, or you draw a card in your memory. So it's okay. Being able to summon another Memorite Blade could be useful, and drawing a card into your memory so that you basically get to cycle is pretty decent. Shattered Hope, it costs 1 less to activate, so it costs 2. You glimpse 1, then you draw a card, and then until the end of turn, allies enter the field with an additional Sheen counter on them. You can activate that at fast speed, so that can matter on your opponent's turn depending on how things pan out. If you don't die that turn, you can just stack all their stuff with Sheen counters and then try to cleave them off next turn, kill them next turn. Converge Reflections. So this one's really neat. As an additional cost to activate this card, sacrifice a non-token item or weapon. Destroy target item or weapon with a memory cost of 0 or reserve cost of 4 or less. If that object was a distortion, you draw a card into your memory. So this combos really nicely with Excalibur, because you can either destroy Excalibur with Converge, or sacrifice, I should say, with Converge Reflections. You activate the On Destroy, where you get to summon a token copy. Now, I've got to remember how stacking effects work. I believe that happens in the middle. So both, I'm not a Grand Archive judge. If you're a judge, let me know what activates first. Do you resolve Excalibur, or do you do Converge? Do you finish resolving Converge Reflections? Panzer, that might be a Magic question too, because the effect stack is similar to Magic. Converge Reflections, you sacrifice a non-token item or weapon. If you sacrifice Excalibur that has an On Destroy, the that goes on the stack, but you're in the middle of, you just paid the cost because there was an additional cost to activate it. So which one resolves first?
Since it's an additional cost and not part of the resolution, it doesn't say sacrifice then destroy. This would be you pay the cost and you have it. So then you have to wait for that to resolve. So it would resolve first.
So you're on destroy, it goes on the stack. So then you get to summon your, if that's correct for Grand Archive, you would get to summon your token copy. And then you can destroy that same token copy you create, which is a distortion because of Excalibur, and draw a card into your memory. If you wanted to do it that way. Obviously, this is basically reduced to ash at slow speed because of what it's capable of doing. I think it's rightfully statted for doing so, but that's nifty for Excalibur. Overlapping Vestiges, each player sacrifices an ally if at least one non-distortion ally and at least one distortion ally were sacrificed this way. You summon a Lost Being token. They didn't show us the Lost Being token. I believe they said it was some sort of like vanilla 2/2. So I don't think this is worth it. Well, I let me rephrase that. It is worth it if you have an ally that like you can't deal with because it's outstatted, but then you can just try to force your opponent to sacrifice it. I see people talk about using this card in Ari, which is nasty because cool. I don't play allies, but you know what I can do? I can make you sacrifice your ally, which is kind of dumb. It's like, cool, I have this, like my Sansa's no longer safe. That's unfortunate. I don't like my Sansa's being unsafe. Stand Before the Queen is a spell shield. You prevent the next 2 damage that would be dealt to target unit this turn. And then at Sheen 8+, the first time damage is prevented from being dealt to a unit this way, that unit gains stealth until the end of turn unless an opponent pays 2, which is cracked. Because your opponent swings into you, you play this fast speed, you prevent their damage, and then you gain stealth unless they pay 2 more. So you can really screw up the math on their turn. And then class bonus for Floating Memory. We're not done yet. I promise we're all this is gonna be we're almost done. There was a lot in this stream. Quiet Refraction, you draw a card into your memory. This is a Fantasia, by the way. Draw a card in your memory and then put 2 Sheen counters on your fractured memory. So really good value. Whenever your champion levels up, you put 2 Sheen counters on your fractured memories. It's kind of really good value. If you can like see 2 of these early, stupid value because you get to replace it and then you get 4 Sheen counters and an additional 4 if you have 2 on board, an additional 4 every time you level up, which can be really, really freaking cracked. So there's definitely value to playing this with a Glimpse Spirit to try to get into the Quiet Refractions. Gentle Respite is Gentle Respite. It's a reprint. Overlapping Vestiges we talked about. Obelith Escort. This one is the summon a Memorite Obelith token with a Sheen counter on it, but if it was prepared, you summon an additional one. So you summon 2 of those Obeliths. Both of them come in as 1/2s. Find the Lost.
The Lost Being token? Did I miss it?
No.
Oh.
It wasn't on the stream. That's why they talked about it, and I believe it was supposed to be a vanilla 2/2 token, but I don't recall. Find the Lost, it can be prepared. As long as it was prepared, it has unblockable. So it's not bad. Spirit Blade Terminus. So prepare 1. It gets +1 power for every 4 Sheen counters on your fractured memories. So let's say by this stage in the game that you're playing this, it's reasonable to think that you might have, let's say 12 to 16. Let's go with 12 though. So this would come in base 2 +3. So this comes in for 5. But if it was prepared, double the amount of Sheen counters on your fractured memories and put Terminus into its owner's memory. So cool. I'm going to not come in for 5, but I'm coming in for 8. And then it goes into my memory so that I can do it again next turn. It's cracked. So this is I mean, it's not better than Slice and Dice, but like, it's just it's like a crux Slice and Dice, so to say. And it's locked for Merlin, so no, us Lorraine enjoyers can't abuse this, unfortunately. But it is good for Merlin. Undeniable Truth is an additional cost to activate this card. You sacrifice an ally, so you draw a card and put a preparation counter on your champion. That's stupid. Why? Because it's fast speed. Why is that stupid? Oh, my ally's about to die? Haha, psych! I'll sacrifice it. So those hasty messengers that are the target of so many people's attacks. Oh, go ahead. You can swing into it. Yeah, I'll let you do that. Oh, wait, psych? Undeniable truth. I get to draw a card off my hasty now and put a prep counter on my champion. What in the ever-living... Ah! That's cracked. I like that card for Merlin and for Lorraine. I'm going to freaking shoe that in. Another beginning, you materialize a Regalia card with a memory cost of 0 from your material deck. I like that a lot. It's gotten a lot of comparisons to Beseech the Winds, rightfully so. Beseech gives you anything. This only gives you a memory cost 0 Regalia, but it's still useful for getting out that proto key, for getting out your GCR, your backup charger, your scepter. So really good stuff, especially pairing that with the Excalibur and the other cards. So there's some synergy there. So that's the Merlin deck. There was a lot there, man. Golly.
I think another beginning is about to like tank Beseech the Wind's cost.
I hope so. Well, it doesn't let you get it doesn't let you materialize your champion, which is where Beseech has value. Because Beseech is a second dungeon guide without the discount in that vein. So now, for our other reveals, we've got Dark Alice here. So Dark Alice, she is the Distorted Queen. It is a new level 1. So this is really nifty because on enter, you gain the Phantasmagoria Mastery and put 2 haunt counters on it. Has the lineage release to recover 2 + X, where X is the amount of cards in her lineage. It does have a CSR. The mastery says that non-Spectre cards in your grave, you lose all abilities, so it forces you to play the Spectre strategy. And then Alice bonus, both of them are, whenever a Spectre ally you control dies, you put a haunt counter on it, and then at the beginning of end phase, you can put all cards from your grave to bottom of deck, and then based on the amount of haunt counters you have, mill that many cards. So you get to basically recycle through your deck for different effects. Alice level 2 is our first advanced element level 2. Alice level 2 is Umbra element, and she has the inherited effect whenever you play an advanced element card while there are no curse cards in her lineage, deal 7 unpreventable. So that's the drawback. If you don't get set up correctly, you will take 7 unpreventable. So 22 goes down to air quote an effective 15. However, first of all, let's appreciate this art. This art goes unreasonably hard. I don't know. I think it's because it has that sort of like, I'm a crazy bitch kind of fucking energy. I'm like, I got to get my hands on one of these. But
some like future diary shit right there.
It's really, you know what? That's what it is. It's definitely Mirai Nikki. She also has a CUR, which, I mean, this is nice.
I like that one a bit more, honestly.
You like this one more? I'm a really big fan of the CSR.
That one has personality, but as far as an art piece goes, the other one just, I like the color pop. The color pop on it is really nice to look at.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That is a fair point. I'm definitely going to try to get my hands on the CSR because that's badass. I like that a lot. It also sucks because I got to get my hands on 2 CSR now.
You don't have to. Stop.
I don't. But
this man needs Michael.
So some of the cards that go along with Alice 2, Spectral Haunting. So it costs 4 less to activate if it targets a Spectre card. So it would cost 2. You return target ally card from your graveyard to the field and it becomes ephemeral. Really, really nice because of what the deck is trying to do. Personally, I feel like that's a 4 of because we are getting new Spectre cards. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Maledictum vitae. That's fucking Latin if I've ever heard it. So it's when you activate it, you put it on the bottom of target champion's lineage. Whenever it's put into lineage, that champion's controller recovers 4. So if you have to activate this from hand, you will take 7 from that Alice, but you'll recover 4, so you'll only take 3. The better way to activate this, though, is to put it in trash somehow, because it has the Alice and element bonus effect that you pay to banish another card from your grave and put this one as the bottom of her lineage. Because it is an activated ability, it doesn't trigger Alice level 2s whenever you play an advanced element card. So this is how you can skirt around that effect and effectively not only not take 7 unpreventable, but then get that free recover 4, which is really good. Plus, having multiple copies of this is not bad because this is basically fast cure at fast speed.
So our Latin card there just means cursed life, which
okay,
it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, maledictum vitae. Every time I cast it, I'm gonna say just like that. Maledictum vitae. And then Panzer called this one. How the did you call this?
I mean, have you seen me call like every card ever in Digimon?
Yeah, sure.
That jar's getting really full.
So Panzer somehow called this. He was like, we're going to get a Jabberwocky in the upcoming set. I'm like, how the hell do you know that? He's like, just trust. And so here's the Jabberwocky. Calamity's Calm, or Call, sorry. It is one of the URs of the set, a unique ally, and it is not only an anomaly, but a specter. Cost 8, but hey, Spectral Haunting. Put the Jabberwocky on the field for a cost of 2.
Yes.
So it comes in as a 4/3 ally. You can pay 2, banish a Spectre ally card from your grave, recover 2, and the Jabberwocky gets +2 power till in turn, so it comes in to be 6/3. And then as long as a player doesn't control an object named Vorpal's Sword, prevent all damage that would be dealt to Jabberwocky, which is crazy!
Hey, what was that other card I said was going to be in the set? Man.
It's crazy, man. So, Vorpal's Sword, I'm super excited to see what Vorpal's Sword does, if it's going to combat the Jabberwocky to this point. But this means that unless you have spells to remove Jabberwocky, and when I say remove, I don't mean dealing spell damage. I mean like return or just like move it or banish it. Like that Jabberwocky's gonna punch you every turn.
I have an idea what Vorpal could do. I don't know if they're going to be this mean to graveyard decks, but they do seem to want to test some more graveyard interaction. It might just like on-hit banish cards from their graveyard.
No, that's respectable though. Because it shouldn't be easy to get out. It'll probably be like prismatic and cost 2.
Make it an exalted weapon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. I'm excited for this set. Some other Spectre cards we got. The Drifting Abyssal, which is basically a turtle that puts a haunt counter. The Rose-Winged Hollow, which is a 2/2 Spectre. You banish it. You banish it from grave, pay 2. Put a haunt counter, then for 6 or more, choose a Spectre ally, it gains +2 power. And then, more importantly, the Oniric Key, which is basically a Keyblade. You can't tell me that it's not a Keyblade. Alice bonus on enter, put a haunt counter on the Phantasmagoria, and then for some reason you pay 4 instead of 3. I guess because, I don't know, but you pay 4 instead of 3, and you get the backup charger effect. So like, I don't know why we have to pay 4, but it is what it is. And then I think that's all of our card reveals. We got a couple other things. These are stuff for like Diana, CL, Old Alice.
More win CL. Drifting Abyssal, I really like it because just look at his trait line.
A warrior specter animal turtle.
Yeah.
Bro, the specter traits go hard because they're all like a conglomeration of stuff. I was formerly a human and now I am a warrior specter animal turtle.
Water Alice might get a little ignorant once you find a Jabberwocky.
I'm excited for Alice. This level 2 Umbra strat Alice, I'm excited for that. This is also a new card, Mirrored Confrontation. Good lord.
This card's good.
Each player may reveal a champion card with base level 3 from their mat deck. Each player that does draws a card in their memory and recovers 2. I have but one gripe about this card. I like it a lot. Personally, this should have been 3 costed and a level 2 bonus for floating memory. And I think this would have been a mainstay in every level 3 deck because you would have no reason to not play it. If you're turboing to level 3, you play this before you get to level 3 and you get to recover 2 and draw a card, but you also make it so that it's not all that abusable by level 1 decks so that they don't just throw level 3 into their mat deck and then be like, cool, I've got a free recover 8 and I get to replace it for free. I think that's personally what I would have done. I'm no game designer, however, I do like the card. Oh, and it's a new foiling type, a curio foil, which is meant for collectors. They have a way lower population, and they can end up replacing one of your foils that you pull in a box. So really cool there. We got some new announcements about what's going to be on event packs, which are basically reprints with new arts. I also learned that the watermark on these cards are the world's insignias, which I did not know. I always wondered what that was. And so these are some of the new art cards, which...
I was talking about Beseech the Wind's price going down. I forgot it was on this list.
Yeah, hopefully it goes down. Cultured. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. What's Nico doing?
Wait,
False Step makes sense. Anime reference too. Home by Fire. Okay, I get it. What are we bursting asunder here, Nico?
As somebody in stream put it, it's just more Gunnar waifu cards. Listen, I'll be real with you guys. I said this in Discord or something. Half the reason I play this game is because of Gunnar waifu cards. For what it's worth, I don't mind the husbando cards. All right, I could certainly do with more of them. But
we saw what shirtless Tony goes for. So.
I know. I'm not gonna hold you. I kind of wanted to get my hands on one. I was not able to before they went up, but it is what it is.
Can you imagine what like the CSR for level 3 Nico is gonna be? Oof.
If she does.
There's no way they don't. There's no way.
So our last big announcement before we close off this podcast, outside of the spoiler season, make sure you're subscribed. November 9th. Start of game rule change. So basically what this means, a lot of text to say that you both are going to put your spirit on the field at the same time, and the player who's going first will resolve all of their effects before you resolve any of your effects. The reason that's important is because there are cards that activate when glimpsing. So what this says is that spirit on enter abilities resolve in turn order. Like I said, players can't gain opportunity until after all abilities triggered by starting champions have resolved, which is very important because of those when star calling and such type abilities. And also players can't declare attacks on their first turn of the game unless they are the last player in the turn cycle, which keeps it so that with the 2 spirits on the field, it is the same thing as if you didn't have a spirit on the field so that you wouldn't be able to be attacked. The thing I don't necessarily like about this is that it helps out the aggro strategies, because now aggro strats can do you damage on their turn 1 and then come back and do you more damage on their turn 2, because sure, you can interact with aggro strategies on their turn 1, which is important, but because you don't get a recollection phase going first, cards you put down from your hand will stay in your memory until your second turn. So they will get 2 turns to do whatever they want. Whereas before, it was first player put spirit out and then you put spirit out. They could do damage to you on your turn and then it can come back to them and they can do more damage. But it's about the knowledge of the game, right? Because now you both are starting at the same time. You don't have to wait until your opponent's turn to know what they're playing, to know what they're doing. I'm sure if my opponent sees fire, they're going to be like, I got to slap this guy because he might be playing Lorraine. Like, I kind of hate all of that, but it is what it is. It's whatever. I know there are arguments on the other side as well that it's kind of the same because they can interact in your end step, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I'm not an aggro player, so I just generally hate things that benefit aggro.
There's a slightly busted thing. For my first thought that I saw, and I said in Discord when I saw this, was like, this feels like it should have just always been like this. Like, we do lose some of the interaction of like, oh, I get to see what you're doing. I have side zeros, like fortuitous or not fortuitous. Brain, help me. The spirit, the glimpsy spirit.
Oh, well, there's 2 of them because there's the Spirit of Serene as well as
so it's Fortuitous. Yeah, Fortuitous is just
fragmented spirit.
Fortuitous is the one that gets hurt the most.
Fortuitous remains like it was here before and it's still here after. They don't gain anything.
But here's a really cracked thing, and this might be a little bit too Christmas landy, but I might not get a materialize phase, right?
Right.
On turn 1. But I get opportunity on your turn 1 to now get floating memory into my graveyard. and then I can just beseech on turn 1 and just start climbing champion levels. Like you can just be a turn 2 champion or level 2 champion on turn 2. You just go beseech into a dungeon guide.
If you have enough influence, you would only be able to do one of those things. But yeah, because you would have to interact and put the floating memory in, and then still have enough for the beseech. So you would need to keep up, assuming that your interaction costs you 2 and you're on because you draw going second. So let's say you're not playing a glimpse. You draw 8 cards. You need to keep 4 cards in hand because that's your beseech, and then 3 cards. So your interaction needs to cost 3 at most. But if you're able to put float and then beseech, you could go into your spirit on turn 1. Yeah, for sure.
See how much fast floating memory do we have?
We have a good bit. There's fast cure, Reckoning's Wake if you play Looking Glass. Water has a ton of floating memory. That's fast speed. So there is a good bit.
Just generic ones are the ones to look for that shenanigans. I don't know like how broken. Like you want to
be able to interact is the big thing. But yeah.
But can you just punch them with a level 3 Tony on turn 1 potentially?
No. How the hell are you punching with a level 3 Tony?
You get enough cards to just like beseech dungeon guide?
No, absolutely not.
Not enough cards.
There's no there's no card. There's no card that like draws you that many cards. Like the only way that'd be even remotely possible is with Rile. Because if you do Rile, you would discard, let's say, float and liminal. But it still wouldn't be turn 1, it'd be turn 2 because you have to level up. Oh, so if you dungeon guide or you beseech, let's say you beseech because you'd use your float, you've now went, I believe Rile costs 3 as well. So you've now went 6 cards down, play 2 cards. Yeah, no, it doesn't work out. Because you're using so much and trying to draw cards.
I gotta remind myself because I thought Vanitas.
I mean, I guess Vanitas, sure.
Yeah,
because he can activate the level 3 from Mat deck, but you still need to get into level 1 and 2. Yeah, you won't be able to hit them
with the Vani on turn 1, but you could probably get 2 of Vani on turn 1.
Maybe in some world, sure.
We need
I guess you could double DG on turn 1 and I guess
we need a floating memory attack on turn 1. So we need.
I guess.
I'll go down this rabbit hole later.
So that is it for today's episode of the Archivist Almanac. It's been a long one because there was a ton of reveals, but it was a lot of good stuff. I'm super excited for PTM. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so that you know when the spoiler video comes out, but also subscribe to our other GA content creators because we've all got spoiler videos come out. We are in the midst of spoiler season and it is a wonderful season to be in as we are a month away from Phantom Monarchs. Super excited. Panzer, can I expect you on here as a full-time host?
I might have to take a vacation or two, man.
A vacation? What are you, Mike?
Hey. Of all of the co-hosts, I am the only one with 100% attendance record.
I guess this is true.
Technically right is the best kind of right.
So yes, that's it. Going forward, expect me and Panzer, the 2 hosts of Archivist Almanac, weekly podcast for Grand Archive, as I try to lure Panzer deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole that is GA.
I have to buy a lot more starter decks for people in the area.
Listen, I did the same thing. I saw somebody at the shop and I was like, yo, what are you doing here? They're like, oh, I'm doing this. They were picking up magic cards. I'm like, hey, listen, I'm going to buy you this starter deck. All you have to do is play the game.
That's literally what it is. I was like, hey, look at all these starter decks. And he's like, Jin seems cool. I was like, all right, added an extra one to the order.
Here you go. So yes, that is it. Expect more content soon. It's in the works, trust me. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you drop a like, drop a comment, letting us know what you thought about all of these reveals. Let us know that Merlin is a savage and is on some real demon time and really just needs to be put in jail. And all your thoughts on Merlin, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks again for listening, and until we talk to you guys the next time, peace out.